BMW has just turned 100 years old. This got us thinking, when did BMW become great? Turns out this isn't a hard question to answer. It was the 1970s. I mean, just look at these four cars. First up, it's the outrageously winged 3-litre CSL Batmobile. It arrived like a striped torpedo in 1972, one of the coolest cars to emerge that decade.
So the CSL isn't really a car you throw around too much. It's too gentlemanly for that. You've got this wonderful view down the bonnet with these two sort of strips of rubber mounted on the wings that frame your vision. And inside, it's just so characterful. These big slabs of wood and this thin-rimmed steering wheel and these really quite responsive pedals, which I hadn't really expected actually. It's again a straight six engine. Despite all the big bodywork bits on it, this is much more of a fast cruiser than it is a real corner animal. So I'm driving a BMW Batmobile through beautiful Scottish scenery, and look at the weather, it's stunning. Just driving doesn't get any better than this. Yes, it's raining and that's maybe not ideal, but actually we've still got this mega scenery, these amazing roads, and the cars are fantastic.
Next up, it's the car that introduced turbocharging to the masses, 1973's 2002 Turbo.
I want to show you something in this. I want to show you what the turbo's like. Okay, so we're doing 3,000 revs in second gear. Okay, listen to this. 4,000, 5,000, 6,000, change it up. It's just tremendous. When the revs get up higher, it really picks up and it feels really tight, a little ball of energy, and it really fires itself down the road. It's impressive stuff for a car that's 40 years old. It might feel small and toy-like, but also it feels very tight and together. I think there's an argument here that on the right road, and this is emphatically the right road, this might be the most fun car to drive of all of these four.
But then there's an argument that says a mid-engine supercar is always more fun. Step forward 1978's legendary M1.
I have wanted to drive an M1 for as long as I can remember. I had a poster of one of these on my wall when I was little. I have to say, it doesn't disappoint. It's such a special car to drive. So you get this impression the whole car is really tidy and tight and together, but it also rides really nicely, and it's not scary at all. And all those old stories about mid-engine cars in the 1970s being really difficult and tricky to drive, I think this must be the exception. But listen to it if you give it a bit of the beans. It's just fabulous. There's such a sense of occasion to being in the M1. You can keep your modern supercars. I'll have one of these and go around at half the speed with twice the grin on my face.
In 1979, BMW brought out the car that, more than any other, set the template for its future, the M535i.
The M535, of course, is the one that can most accurately trace its lineage through to today, and all the new M5s and their twin-turbo engines and all the rest of it. This feels more like a gentleman's express than an out-and-out super saloon, but I suspect that's just the difference that 40 years has made. And just like the other straight six cars, there's this wonderful elasticity to the power delivery. You don't need to have many revs on the clock, you just press go, it just gets its shoulders in and digs down and off it goes. This was the one that brought the M badge to the masses, that really kick-started the whole M appeal.
So is it possible to have a favourite?
These four cars are so interesting and so different. As an experience, I hate to say this because it's so obvious, I would have the M1. And it's not just because it's fabulous to drive, it's because of that whole 70s vibe about it. The angular lines, the way you sit in the car, I absolutely love it.